morning, good morning, good morning, good Saturday morning to everyone, all people, all languages, all races, all around the world. Good morning to everyone. Have a beautiful day. Yes, I am back, and the reason is the videos are not coming back to back to back to back is because something that I've constantly brought out throughout my videos, which is no one should occupy your mind on a daily basis. So you should never have to turn to TV or news or anything like that. You know, a lot of the answers you have is in yourself. So this video provides a different way of looking at situations in your life so that you can make better choices. Not to say that you don't already make better choices, but to give you an all-around compass on how we navigate through the world. We know that the world is made up of all different types of people. We don't have to understand different types of people, different types of situations. All we need, the most important thing, is to understand ourselves. That's where true success comes from. So before we start, click like, subscribe, share, go through the playlist. Always different topics on things that we go through constantly on a daily basis. And today's topic is fitting because, like I said, I like doing topics that have more than one part so that I can bring something out and put it out there that you can keep going back to review it, because your life goes on and then that situation arises where you say, hey, wait a minute, you know, I remember the guy was saying in the video, you know, about this type of situation. Let me go back and look at that. And that's what this channel is all about, giving you a different way of looking at things, not giving you advice. So today's topic is what holds us back from wealth, happiness, and success. So this is a 4-part series, and today we are going to discuss fear. And you say, well, what does fear have to do with all this? Well, we already know what fear has to do with it. But today we're going to understand fear, which is going to motivate us today to look at fear in a different way so that we can take on this Saturday, take on this weekend, and make new changes. So today is going to be a little longer video, an important video, an informative video, and a new way of viewing, also responding and dealing with situations in our lives. So the answer was already said of what holds us all back from everything, from love, from social, from the, you know, taking the next step for a job or buying a house or buying a car. What holds us back from, you know, different things that we want in life. And the introduction, it was obvious, it's fear. So let's discuss fear. And today we take a new stance on how we view and how we interpret and how we handle fear. But in order to understand what it is that we have to change and how we've been dealing with fear, is understand what fear actually is. And fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. So when most people think about fear, we think about Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger coming after us, that, you know, to be scared, like the Texas Chainsaw or the guy from Saw, ooh, scared. And fear, that's not fear. If you look at what this definition just said, it's an unpleasant emotion. So the guy from Saw, Freddy Krueger, all they are the threat to that emotion. So it's just like example, no man or woman would deal with your looks or weight. You know, and you look inside relationships, and when people get upset with one another, they go right for the dagger. They go for what hurts the most. And when in doing so, whether it be female, where she might be subconscious about her weight, that hurts. That's like a dagger, which also brings down her self-esteem and holds that fear is now within this person, is afraid to take the next step to say, hey, look, I know there's something better out there for me, and I'd rather deal with that than to deal with this. Now, we can look at it as a person in an office who's working on a project. Now, you stay with the women. A woman has an opportunity to take on a project, something that's outside of her class of her training, but yet and still, she's been doing the job. This is what the people in the company have been saying. You know, you've been doing the job. You know, forget about it. You know, you don't have the education for it. You've been doing it. You know, just be, you know, take the next step. Take this project and let this be your start. and the woman turns it down out of fear. And that fear is that, hey, what if I screw this up? Or now we can look at, a guy who works on a job and, has been working on a job, just started out, really, really good job. But when he started out, he said, hey, I got two jobs, I leave from here and then I go to my next job. Will that be a problem? And then they say no. And then one day they come and they say, well, overtime. Now they know that you make more money on this job than you do your other part-time job. So they're putting things in front of you. So now what are they doing? They're playing on your fear. Okay? And then society tells us that we have to have it in order to stay one step ahead. So whether it be the new iPhone, or whether it be the new Mac, whether it be the new SUV, whether it be the new kitchen design that's out, it's always someone else telling us what we need. And if we don't have it, what do we have? A fear that someone else or others might go one step ahead of us. So we're trying to chase after the carrot. So, however, it doesn't end here. We have to look at media, we have to look at the movies, we have to look at the music, we have to look at the novels, and we have to look at society, because they all join that cause. And by pushing this propaganda, they automatically, there's too many different ways for them to know exactly what affects you. That's why they bombard you with so much complicated stuff, so that one of them will work, and one of, whether it be, whether it be weight, whether it be your looks, whether it be, your status, there's always a way to come at you. It could be balding hair, it could be your teeth, any type of insecurity, and they'll find it. Because what it does, it allows them to dictate your thoughts and your directions in life, even though they're not standing next to you side by side. Okay? So, the reason that all these entities have joined this cause to, promote fear, is the fear of dealing with their own various dysfunctional issues. Because remember, these people, they know that they're doing wrong. They are willingly doing wrong. So they know it. They just don't want to deal with their own. It's better that they push their stuff off on you, even though they don't believe half of the stuff that they're saying. So they feel that it's better to cause pain than to deal with their own fear. Since birth, we're told, even within our families, oh, you're dumb, you're stupid, or you're overweight, or your looks, or the job that you work, or just your home, your life, your wealth, your social circle can and should be better. So from there, from birth, we grow up with these insecurities, and these insecurities are strengthened into a full-fledged fear, even though there is nothing to fear once you take control of your life. So what is pointed out in this process is, again, to point out something that you lack. And by pointing out something that you lack, 9 out of 10 times you're going to follow it, because you want to know all the trends that apply to what you're insecure about. So today we allow us, and not others, to provide the solutions and the answers to make living and self-help available to oneself, because you're the greatest machine, and when we look outside of ourselves, that's because of our fear. So our fear denies us from looking within ourselves, and by looking within ourselves, we know how to help ourselves, almost like a car. If something goes wrong, but you know about cars, you know how to fix it. Same thing goes with ourselves. So remember, anyone who puts you in a state of needing your mind, needing you every day to come and to follow everything that they're saying, word for word, just to constantly be there, only me mind state of mind. So they're taking away from you thinking it's a person. And that's why, I always say in my videos, no one should occupy your time. If there's advice to be given, give that advice, but don't carry on, don't invent things to draw people in. That's, that's not what this channel is about, but it happens a lot. And the reason I say that is that no person, again, should control your thoughts. You have the answers for what's wrong with you. You know what's wrong with you. If you're not feeling good, you know what's wrong. It doesn't take me to come and say, hey, you don't look too good. Yeah, really? So lastly, for anyone who produces content not based on life, time, and experience, how can you answer any questions if you're not living life? So again, to go back to that fear, when this is a fear that we find we're dealing with on social media, is that, people tell you, they relate to what it is you're going through. They you start to follow, and then they hook you. They're starting to tell you things about yourself, meaning they're injecting thoughts into yourself of different ways a person might be acting. So I'll give you an example. Um, People will go on to say, why is this happening in a relationship? Why does this happen? Now, the answer that they're giving you could be so dead on. It could be the actual truth. But then they'll say in the next video, they're like, oh, well, you know, you just have to look at yourself, because if you don't, it's just going to happen over and over and over. So in order for it not to happen over and over, stay tuned. Come on. You help. Sometimes the messenger is only there for the message. So, and that's all I have to say for people who push videos, constant videos. But lastly, we want to end with fear and how we should take on today and go about our day. Fear is based on what we lack. The entities discussed earlier provide insight on how your insecurities were discovered. So today's video is basically saying the different tools that are being used to tap into your fears, and you have no idea that this is happening. But once you understand that it's happening, you'll understand that this process works in relationships, it works in social circles, it works on a job, it works anywhere where you are. This process, by seeing things for as they are, that all these things are not unique, they're all connected, because remember, we're under a God mind, we're under one mind, so even if there was no books on this earth, if you're born, you're still going to know what you have to do in life. You're just going to have to, those things are going to come to you. So what reasons are there to fear? And the fear is that we can't do it alone. So, now we'll find out how wealthy people and the average people view wealth, and how fear takes on a different meaning in the two. Fear is going to be the constant throughout all of these. But when we deal with wealth, we're going to bring fear with it, and we're going to bring fear with happiness, and we're going to bring fear with success. So in the next part 2 of 4, we will discuss wealth and how fear applies to two different ways, two different groups of people, and how fear is the same fear, but it's viewed differently between the two. But today is a beautiful day. I'm happy to be back, and don't let anyone put you in fear. Even to go back to, if it's work related or it's socially related or family related, don't be in fear. Allow that fear to make you stronger, whether you have to deal in these situations. And we're going to learn about that as we go along. So have a beautiful day, everyone. Have an awesome day. Remember, the only thing that you should fear is yourself. So, and the proper fear that we should have is, are we doing the right thing? That's the only fear a person should have. Am I doing the right thing? That should be what you fear most. But we don't. We fear Freddy Krueger. So have a beautiful day, everyone, and stay tuned. In 2 days, part 2 will be up. And remember, this is part 1 of a 4-part series. Again, have a beautiful day. Peace and blessings. How fear applies to two different ways, two different groups of people, and how fear is the same fear, but it's viewed differently between the two. But today is a beautiful day. I'm happy to be back, and don't let anyone put you in fear. Even to go back to, if it's work related or it's socially related or family related, don't be in fear. Allow that fear to make you stronger, whether you have to deal in these situations. And we're going to learn about that as we go along. So have a beautiful day, everyone. Have an awesome day. Remember, the only thing that you should fear is yourself. So, and the proper fear that we should have is, are we doing the right thing? That's the only fear a person should have. Am I doing the right thing? That should be what you fear most. But we don't. We fear Freddy Krueger. So have a beautiful day, everyone, and stay tuned. In 2 days, part 2 will be up. And remember, this is part 1 of a 4-part series. Again, have a beautiful day. Peace and blessings.